Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to the fish room. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a like on the video if you guys enjoy videos like this and want to see more videos. So today's video is all about how to not have algae. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while or you're new to the channel, these tanks have been set up for absolutely ever. I really don't scrape any algae. I don't do any maintenance. All I do to my fish room is change out the mesh up here every so often in my filters, and I pretty much just top off the tanks. So I absolutely don't do any algae scrubbing, and pretty much all my tanks are crystal clear with no algae. Today's video, I'm just gonna go over a few things that could really help you and improve your water quality as long as you follow simple steps. It's really easy to avoid algae if you just know what causes it and how to avoid it. Now, the number one thing that I believe causes algae is just leaving your lights on for too long. Now, a lot of people just leave their lights on all day long, and I honestly never do that. So my fish room is always lit up by this big window here. Pretty much even with the lights off, the fish can see and they move around. So I really don't need lights on my fish tanks except for when I'm filming videos or when I'm feeding the fish. So me personally, I only turn my lights on when I'm home from work and I'm looking at my fish tanks, which is not very long. I usually leave the tanks on for about 4 hours. And I usually just feed them right before I go to bed, and then I turn all the lights off. So my number one tip would be keeping your lights off when you're not looking at your fish tanks. Most of the time, your ambient room is gonna have plenty of light for the fish to see, and they really do not need that light at all times. I find the fish will behave a lot more calmly when the lights are off as well, and they won't hide as much. But I do not scrape any algae off the glass in any of my tanks. Now, the second thing that could be causing algae in your tanks, besides your light, could definitely be bad filtration or buildup of stuff on the gravel, maybe. So, a lot of times, if you just don't have a good filtration, your tank will cloud up, you'll start getting algae, and it'll just look horrible. So, a big thing is just having good filtration. I always recommend at least a sponge filter in a tank if you have one available. Anything helps if you can throw a sponge filter in there or throw a hang-on back filter on it. And it's also very important to clean your filters every so often. I definitely don't recommend tearing up your filters every week trying to clean them, but I definitely do it every 6 months or so. So the third thing it could be is overfeeding your fish. Now this tank right here is probably the tank that I feed the most food because there's so many fish in here. It's very hard to tell on video, but this is a massive tank. And all the fish kind of just come right up to the front of the glass. So it gives an illusion that the tank is super full of fish, when in reality, they're all just right here at the front of the glass and there's a giant tank behind them. So this tank definitely gets fed the most, and there's no algae really. There's a little bit of biofilm on the glass itself, but that's not really anything you can't handle. I just simply do not clean my tanks at all, so this is just what they look like. I definitely recommend feeding your fish a little less if your water is getting a lot of algae or you just can't stop getting algae. You might just be feeding your tank way too much. All right, number 4 on the list for why you're getting algae is actually really simple. A window. If your tank is near a window and you just can't stop the algae, it's simply just getting too much light. This tank here is pretty much my only tank that gets shot by the window here with my clown knife in it. This little bit of algae here is pretty much all that has grown from the window, but there is algae there. And the algae is definitely from this window. But I kind of like the algae, so I don't get rid of it on this tank. And this is pretty much the only tank that does grow algae, and it's simply just from the window here. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my clown knife Slippy that I ordered off of predatoryfins.com. And when I got him, he was probably like 3 or 4 inches, and now he is a 10-inch monster. I definitely have a bunch of videos on all the tanks in the fish room. If you guys are interested, check them out. I have so many videos on my channel on fish tanks and this fish room. So we're gonna move on to number 5, the last thing that could definitely cause this. And I would say just not maintaining your tanks can definitely cause algae. If you don't do water changes, if you're just throwing food in your tanks, you're not really looking at them, you just leave the light on all day, a lot of it just comes down to maintaining your tanks and doing simple maintenance like a water change, cleaning your filters. A lot of times just cleaning your filter could help the tank so much. I see a lot of people on Facebook posting their algae-ridden tanks, the whole tank is green water. And when you ask them why it's like that, usually they just don't maintenance the tank at all. They don't do anything to the tank, they have a bunch of fish in it. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, there are people that just have algae out of control. And honestly, turning your light off, feeding your fish a little less, doing a gravel vac, making sure you don't have a bunch of poop in your gravel, all these things can just help tremendously. Cleaning out your filter, doing anything, really will help your tank. So if you guys enjoy videos like this where I just go over a topic, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Peace.